All right, class, we've got two more problems to do today. We're subtracting 1,000, take away 236. So let's imagine that there are 1,000 people at the grocery store, which is not good right now, but normally that might be fine. 1,000 people at the grocery store and 236 people leave. Now, how many are still inside the store? Um, Looking at our ones column, we have the same problem that we did, or the same issue that we did in the last two problems. We have 0 all the way across. We have 3 zeros. That means we're going to have to kind of skip jump all the way from the tens column, the hundreds column, all the way to the thousands column to be able to borrow anything at all. So let's start borrowing. Here we go. I'm going to borrow from my 1,000. Now I'm taking away 1 from my 1,000, meaning I now have 0 thousands left. I'm going to give that 1,000 to my 100. Okay, so I've got 10 here. Now my tens column can borrow from hundreds, changing it to a 9. And that means that my tens column gets to now be a 10. Now that solves my issue because my ones column needs to borrow from the next door neighbor. So I'm going to borrow again, making that a 9, and finally making my ones column a 10. Okay, that's a lot of steps, but it is really the same process. Even if, the same process that we had when we were subtracting 3-digit numbers. The only difference is that we have to borrow from more neighbors. That's really the only difference. But now that our problem is all set up and ready, I can look at my ones column and I've got 10, take away 6. Hold up 10 fingers and take away 6. That's going to equal 4. Now in my tens column, I don't have 10 anymore, I have 9. Remember, I changed that number to a 9. So I've got 9, take away 3. And if I have 9 fingers, holding up 9 fingers, and I take away 3 of them, I'm going to have 6 left over. And in my hundreds column, I've got 9 as well. 9, take away 2. If I hold up 9 fingers and I take away 2, I've got 7 left. Now in my thousands column, I used to have a number, but I borrowed from him, making him a 0. So I do not have to drag that 0 down because 0 with 764 behind it is just the same as 764. So I have nothing in my thousands column anymore. I am down to only 764. So since 236 people left the grocery store, I now have 764 people left in the store. Okay, let's move on to this problem over here. 1,000, take away 847. Let's pretend you've got 1,000 flowers growing in your garden, and you're going to pick them for neighbors and friends, and for maybe your mom or your sister, whoever you want to give those flowers to. You're going to take away 847 of them. Let's see how many flowers are going to be in your garden after you take away that many. Okay, so starting in my ones column, I'm going to have to skip all the way over to a neighbor that actually has something for me to borrow, which is right here. Okay. I'm taking 1 away, making that a 0, giving that to the next door neighbor so that this next door neighbor can borrow from him, making it a 9 and making this a 10. And finally, my ones column can borrow from the tens. Okay, making that a 9 and making this a 10. Now in my ones column, I am ready to go. I have 10, take away 7. Hold up 10 fingers and take away 7. And what's your answer? 3. Moving on to our tens column, we've got 9, take away 4. Hold up 9 fingers and take away 4. How much do you have left? Got 5 left. And lastly, we have our hundreds column. 9, take away 8. If you hold up 9 fingers and take away 8, how many do you have left? 1 finger. And over here in our thousands column, we don't have anything left, so we don't need to bring anything down. And our total is 153. So if you start with 1,000 flowers in your yard and you pick 847 flowers, you're only going to be left with 153 flowers. So that is how you subtract using 1,000. As always, let me know if you have any questions at all on how to do this, and I can explain it to you individually. But if you are ready to go, move on to the next slide and finish your assignment.